Hello and welcome again to Forgotten Temples of Cambodia. You find your affable host, Mr. B, leaning against a tree, topping up on a bit of sunshine because it's good for the soul, isn't it? As I keep telling you chaps, get some more crunch in your life, and that means getting out and about amongst nature, whatever, and the sound of the leaves under your feet. For if you hear that crunch, I promise you, you will go home feeling a lot more relaxed, and the stresses and strains and the burdens of this world would have been released for even a short while. And I'm getting my crunch from a place called Kouk Chak today. Now this is a temple I've filmed before but never put up because the video was just awful, because there's not a lot to say about it. But I have something really wonderful to show you today, because the other day I was heading home alone, as is my way, and at my local pagoda there was this large ceremony going on. The monks were chanting, there was candles everywhere, and the smell of incense sticks was quite overpowering. So me and my inquisitive mind, we ventured forth to explore, and I got some fantastic footage that I'm going to share with you now. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because these traditions haven't changed in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And they won't really change because that's the way of religion, isn't it? So by looking at this footage, and then I'll show you Kouk Chak, you need to impose those images of monks and incense sticks and chanting onto Kouk Chak, which is only a small little temple, and he's a lonely little soul because nobody comes to visit him, which is tragic, isn't it? But we do, don't we? Yes, we do. We come and visit him. But you must remember his past. And in the past, he had people come here and kept him company with their chanting and their worship and their prayers. So have a look at this. And what you'll see is a pagoda, the monks walking round it continuously, and as they walk round it continuously, they collect joss sticks, incense sticks, and then they place them in these urns with sand, and one of them even combusts. There's so many of them. I can't tell you as to how wonderful this experience was. You can tell I'm getting excited, can't you? So imagine yourself there, and then imagine that there, here. Rightio, my temple tears. That's the road that brought us in. Can you see my delightful chopper glistening in the sunshine? Because I gave my chopper a polish, don't you know? Yes. I used to pay someone $1, 70 pence sterling, to, that's a US dollar, to polish my chopper. But it took them half an hour, which makes the whole thing pointless, doesn't it really? So now, you know, being single, I polish my own chopper. I find it much more efficient. Now, you've seen it wander into your screen, haven't you? You've got an eagle eye, I can tell. And this is Kouk Chak. Now, those previous videos I've just shown you should add some spice to what you're seeing. You've got to imagine the monks. You've got to imagine the joss sticks. You've got to imagine the religious holidays, because people would have flocked to these places. I mean, just consider your local church. No one ever goes there, ever, unless you're in Texas. Or Louisiana or Mississippi. But come Christmas, in England anyway, the churches are packed. You know, a bit of holly and a bit of goodwill and they all come flooding in, don't they? But most of the time, vacant. And that would have been the same in the ancient times, because there's one thing we know about history. It doesn't really change much. He's a lonely chap out here by himself with his buddy. So let's do the decent thing and have a look round. Now here's the smaller of the two, and he's got a little blue hat on, isn't he? Because there's been archaeological work going on here, which I find very encouraging. You know, so many that I visit out in the countryside are basically completely ignored. But this one has some, and look, oh hello, he's got some very nice detailing. And I'll just put my finger here, I'm not touching, I assure you. There we go. Because people have messaged me, and thank you very much. Anyone that's ever messaged me, thank you so much. And people have actually, well, a couple of people, not many, have said you shouldn't touch these things. And do you know what? I agree with them. I really do. So I'm not doing that anymore. So thank you for your comments and thank you for your advice. Now, here we are inside. And a little thing to note here is I'm just going to bounce down. Let's bounce down. Oh, yeah. And there's these little yellow dots. See? Here and here. And that's wonderful. That means he's now in the arms of somebody, the Archaeological Society, that's going to take care of him. He's a little dumpy thing, but he's being looked after. Let's go and see his chum. And out the door we go. Look at that. Isn't it lovely for February? I mean, really, I think it's February 13, actually. Tomorrow's Val's Day. And there's a lady in a band who's a wonderful singer, and I'm going to give her a Valentine's card. I don't really want to go out with her. I just thought it's a nice thing to do. Everyone should give away one Valentine's card. And then everyone gets one. Well, mostly. Right, and there's the lintel, and that is in not too bad condition. It's not the best, it's not the worst. And this is the larger of the two, and we'll do him his justice, we'll do him his dues, and see what we discover inside. A bit of bracing, and not an awful lot else. There's not a lot to speak of, is there? There's some bricks that have been placed in. Modern bricks, but in exactly the same style. That's what we like to see. And it's easy to define which are the modern bricks and which are the ancient, which is exactly how it should be. Well done, the chaps who've done that. So that is our brief tour around. But hopefully, with our imagination, we can fill in the missing parts. And do you know what is very sweet about this temple? Is he's never be alone, because there's a school over here, look. So he's always got the sound of laughing kids to keep him company. Rightio, so there you go. That was Kouk Chak, and he was a silent one, wasn't he? Well, the pair of them, there's a larger and a smaller, a bit like husband and wife. And the kids, I've just thought of that. There's husband and wife, and they've got shitloads of kids. That's kind of the Asian way. Their breeding skills are quite prolific, I assure you. So, and I don't mean any insult by that. They just like large families is what I mean. You have to be very careful, you know. People do get upset. Very easily. They get upset too easily, in fact. Oh, golly go, yo. So there you go. And hopefully those initial slots I showed you, footage of the temple near my house where they celebrate Buddha's birthday, it's given you a bit of a flavour as to what goes on, or what used to go on at these temples. And to me, it's a shame they don't use the old temples in a modern way. I mean, why not? It's just build new concrete ones and not have these, being used. It's really rather tragic, but it's not for me to decide, is it? It's only for me to catalogue these things so they're never forgotten. That is my aim. And it's so much easier to reach that aim if you chaps take me by the hand and join me on my little mad trips. It has been Mr. B of Forgotten Temples of Cambodia. I very much hope you've enjoyed this little jog around, this bit of escapism with a little bit of crunch. So, until next time, when the beep beep, the Forgotten Temple Express leaves the station near you, be sure to jump aboard and join me again. Take the very best of care.